advert for it, and I've been like, So we'll just carry on the
It's the bloke that plays. It's the bloke that plays Steve the Pirate in Dodgeball.
Oh my God! Really?
Yeah. But I found it really funny. It was quite interesting.
Because we binge watch all the supernatural shows, don't we? All the spooky stuff. Like Project Blue Book, I quite like that one as well.
Yeah,
that's quite good. For those of you who are watching, hello. Sorry, we're in mid-conversation. We'll get to you in a minute. Wait your turn. So yes, next week Chinese ghosts and thingy bobs and ghoulies and shit, and then the one after we'll do our favourite paranormal shows that we like, or paranormal and sci-fi.
Yeah, I would stick with sci-fi. I think we need to stay away from the paranormal ghost shows at the moment. I think we need to sort of.
Yeah, I think that may be. Theme, I think that may be opening up a bloody great big barrel of Dark Mirror's wit and charm.
Yes, especially after the last couple of days of live feeds and radio broadcasts that I've been doing. I've mentioned certain shows quite a bit, and I'd rather not. So.
I must talk on a totally different. Thank you to everybody who's watching us on Facebook as well. Facebook, YouTube, all of it. You know who you are. Anyway, yeah, I was in a few. I'm in a few, as you know, UFO groups and paranormal groups.
Yeah.
I had to take myself. I'm not going to mention their names, or the people's names, but I had to take myself out of a couple today because. No.
I think some people join these UFO groups deliberately to wind people up and to sort of push you up a garden path that you know full well isn't the right one to go down, but they still try and push you in that direction anyway, and it's blatantly obvious after a while, and then when you react, they act all innocent.
Well, one of them, it had a picture of a black and white picture of UFO in the air, and it looked just like that famous one that we spoke about, the faked one,
the hubcap.
Yeah. It looked just like that, and they were all going how it's real and it's been proved it's not fake and this, that, and the other. And I remember that being this particular picture being disseminated on various shows on the TV, saying yes, they used to think it was real, not the hubcap one, but one that's similar. I think it was meant to be taken to Scotland. But it was taken to bits and proved it was actually a complete load of bollocks. Hey, Andy, you're right, mate. But
evening, Andy.
Because I dared turn around and say, do you know what? It reminds me of a certain photo. People started going mad, and I'm like, no. It looks just like the faked one. But I'm only saying that because it's black and white, set on a farm, and you got what looks like a frisbee or a hubcap in the middle of the air. So that's it.
Hey, they did the same thing with the fairy picture, didn't they? That was done the back garden. Yeah. And for decades, everybody was fascinated with it, and people were looking at the photo saying, you know, oh, that's real, that's fake, and there was lots of opinions about the photo, and it wasn't until decades later that it was proved to be fake.
Yeah.
But it didn't stop people being fascinated with it for the first 10, 20 years.
And when you think how old that those pictures were, because I've seen all those pictures, and when you think how old they were and the fact that they fooled people for nearly 100 years, just shows how well done it was. For those of you who've just joined in, we're doing our usual ripping the Mickey out or ripping the living daylights out of stuff, not sticking to what we're supposed to be doing, which we will catch up with in a minute. Well, we're just talking about UFO pictures that people go, oh my God, that's amazing, and it's like, no, it's a freaking frisbee.
Yeah,
you know, but
like very similar to the first lot of video footage that came out of the Starlink satellites being launched and them getting into formation. Everybody was going into that and going, "Oh my God, the aliens are coming!" And you're like,
"Oh my God,
they're not." That's Starlink being put into position, and depending on how many satellites he insists on putting up there, you're going to get a ruined view of the stars because it's going to be full of Starlink going backwards and forwards across the sky.
Well, it's like I I don't know for those of you who keep up in the UFO news, but the last couple of weeks there was all those. I sent you some of those pictures, didn't I? And I said, "This is Starlink. What the hell?" And it was a string of satellites in a row, seen all over the world, not just over here, all over the world. And people were taking photos and going, "Oh my God! Oh my God! It's an armada!" And it's like, fucking Elon Musk stuff. What are you doing? And all these people are going, "Oh, they're coming. They're going to sleep with our food and eat our women. Oh my God!" What the fuck's wrong with you?
There was one guy. He actually posted a very small video because the International Space Station doesn't stay in view for long, and it takes 90 minutes for it to go right around the Earth. But this guy posted this video of the International Space Station going over, and it was at an angle where it was really, really bright. So, of course, it's flown over, and this guy's gone, "Oh, my God, it's got to be an alien because there's no flashing lights on it, and I can't see these flashing lights." And next video, this comment comes up, "Do you believe in UFOs?" And he was like, "Well, I do now because I can see this one." And the bloke turned around and went, "Do you actually pay any notice to the International Space Station or the NASA projects or anything like that?" And he went, "No." So the bloke goes and replies, check on this website, you'll find that the International Space Station will be flying over your area every hour and a half. And it was, and the bloke then posted a picture of the trajectory, the path that the International Space Station was flying, and it went right over this bloke's house.
Well, it's like,
and it was like, "You've been scuppered, mate," and he still wouldn't admit it, even though the video and the map of the path that the International Space Station was going to take took him right over this bloke's house at the exact same time. This bloke did this live feed saying he'd seen an alien spaceship.
It's like every December the 24th, every year without fail, every December the 24th, roughly just around midnight, you get loads of people standing out in their back garden saying an alien's just gone over. I don't know what the fuck that's all about. Just saying and putting it out there. All right. See if it happens this year.
Can you imagine if Elon Musk had put his Starlink satellites up when the Three Kings were following the star? They'd be buggered, wouldn't they? They'd be all over the shop.
Every December the 24th, his car goes past, and if you listen very carefully, you can hear beep beep, motherfuckers, beep beep, as it goes over.
We got to follow that star. No, that one. No, that one. No, that one. That one. That one. That one. They're moving. They're all moving. Where do we go?
Follow the Tesla. Dear, oh dear. So yeah, we're just saying about people who kind of think that's very obviously fake photos that used to be thought of as being real and have been proved to be unreal. And I've seen them in various shows and stuff. And there's people on certain UFO sites going, "Oh my God!" and you're just like, no.
You get it on a lot of the ghost ones as well.
Yeah, no, exactly. And because we do the show, and because I like to feel I've got a bit of integrity and I know a little bit about what I'm talking about, I've had to take myself out of these places because it's just like I cannot put my name to anything like that. And the thing was, because people were going, "Well, I'm sure that's such and such," and I made the mistake of going, "Well, that reminds me of that picture," and people were going mad. And then because of the people who posted it, we're going, "Oh, no, it's real." All these other ones will go, "I'm just going to put my hand up your bottom here. Oh, yes, I can see what you mean. Yes, it's definitely an alien." So I was just like, and I was just like, no, fucking no. It literally, some of these sites are run by Zig and Zag, you know?
The girls, they all love
me. You know
me.
This is, don't you? That's me going in dry. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like the flat earthers as well. You know, satellite imagery clearly shows it's a sphere, not a plate.
I remember one of the Flat Earth Societies when they first started coming out. I pissed one of them mightily, pissed them off, because I went on there and I think I mentioned it in one of our shows. I put a big post on there saying about flat Earth, blah blah blah, and at the end I put, the Earth can't possibly be flat because if it was, the cats would have knocked fucking everything off the edge. And that was it. I was the biggest bastard on the face of the earth. It's like, later bitches, you know.
Yeah.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
crazy, isn't it?
But yeah, it's amazing just how, with things like the supernatural, paranormal, any genre of it, it only takes one person to think that something that is glaringly not real is real, and then you'll get all these sycophants coming on and go, "Oh, leave him alone! It's obviously real. Oh, it's the best thing I've seen in." Get your tea, let it dry. You see that little bit of scum on the top? That's a UFO. Oh my God! So it is. You know. Jeez,
I might do that later. Actually, I might throw one of the plates that we don't want, and I might throw it out in the garden and take a quick picture. You know, and go, look, I found a UFO. It's landed in my back garden. Yeah.
He's got a point. James has got a point there.
Definitely got a point. So maybe I will take a picture of that plate and send it over to America and go, here, guys, look what I've got in my back garden.
You know what? Next time I come down to
let the money come in, please. Let it come in.
Next time I come down and see you guys, we've got a frisbee somewhere. I will paint it in UV paint. We'll get a UV spotlight and I'll lob it, and you can take some photos.
Sounds like a plan.
Well, that's pretty much what most people are doing at the moment.
It's either that or we could find half a dozen of the hubcaps that land around down our street. You know.
Well, just go and find where these bloody pictures are taken. You'll find loads of the bastards lying around.
They'll probably all come off my street.
Well, not very long, because we'll be moving soon, won't you?
Thank God.
Yes. Yeah, we're going to have to. Now we can all start seeing each other and stuff in the summer holidays, because we don't work in the summer holidays. If it's all right with you, I'd like to come down and we need to go and do a UFO watch or something.
Yeah.
We could even do a live from a UFO watch.
Yeah. We had that like on Saturday when we were at Dunwich filming. We actually stood on the beach, and because there's no street lights at Dunwich, it was completely clear. There was no light pollution whatsoever.
Did you have clothes on this time?
And
those weren't boys out there in the sea, I can tell you.
It was absolutely amazing. You could literally see cloud formations of stars rather than just individual stars.
Yeah. Bless you.
And it was just phenomenal. And then, of course, we started seeing moving lights and bits and bobs, and we're like, well, no, they're not UFOs. They are the satellites or the International Space Station or whatever. But truly is amazing at the likes of Dunwich. It only takes an hour to get there.
Well, I'll come down some holidays. Hey, Maria. I'll have to what the fucking hell was I going to say? Yes, light pollution. You know yourself, you know, when you sit back, like your eyes relax and you just stare up there, and if you haven't got the light pollution, you see the satellite, you can see the satellites in the stratosphere, you can see them all going over, this, that, and the other. And then you'll see the odd light going, like, and you go, oh, what was that? And then you watch again and you'll get a few going, and then, you know, and it makes such a difference not having that light pollution about.
Yeah.
But obviously, if we took a picture of that and put it up in those UFO groups, you'd have somebody going, oh my God, they're going to invade us.
Yeah. That must mean that Elon
just joined in. Sorry?
That must mean that Elon Musk is an alien.
To be fair, I love his Teslas. So, you know, I don't care if he's an alien or not. I really like his Teslas. If you're watching, Elon.
Yeah, we'd like to test drive one for life.
As recommended by the Dark Mirror radio show. Tesla and bacon. And James has just said the black spots of England and Mexico are amazing. Wales and Brazil. It blows your mind at the fuckzillion of stars. If you're having your mind blown whilst you're looking at fuckzillions of stars, you're obviously doing something right there, James. But yeah, those photos with the Starlink that I sent you, that was in Brazil, and it was all the Brazilians there going, aliens! Yeah. No, it's Elon Musk stuff. Anyway, we're just saying about you missed it. For those of you who just joined us, we're talking about we're supposed to be talking about Japanese ghosts and legends, but we're doing our normal rant about complete crap. And we're just talking about UFO places where everybody goes, oh my God, that's such a real photo. Oh, that's real. Oh, that's right. Oh, look, a frisbee. Oh, that's real. Oh, that's real. No, it really fucking isn't. But I was saying every December the 24th at around midnight, if you look up to the sky, you will see Father Christmas. You'll see an alien go past in a very nice Tesla going beep beep motherfuckers. And if you listen carefully, you'll hear ho 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 as he goes past with his in the stereo playing. In it. Nod. Do something. Are you alive? Hello? The only person who's looking at me is the bloody pug. And he was trying to bum his brother earlier. Dirty boy. Anyway. So, yes. These people who think that fake UFO pictures are real fucking annoy me. I'm sorry. Like Zach Baggins, you annoy me. Zach Bullbag. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. And not next week, but a week after, we're going to talk about sci-fi TV shows. And I think after that, we might talk about paranormal TV shows that really get on our nipples. I think that'd be a good one. And why they get on our nipples. Or our favourite paranormal shows with the odd one that gets on our nipples. What do you think?
Yeah. Yeah, why not?
Yeah. Okay, so what will we talk about today? Japanese myths and legends.
Yes.
And when we say Japanese myths and legends, I don't mean the ones that stand on the corner going, "It's a horny $50, big boy." Nothing to do with that. Okay. Cars. Talk about cars. What do you mean talk about cars?
Toyota.
Yeah, we talk about Teslas because the Dark Mirror show likes Teslas, and if Elon Musk wants to sponsor us again, Teslas, bacon. My phone dropped off.
Your thumb's dropped off.
Ah!
It's gone.
Anyway.
Yeah. After 17 minutes.
Get that haunted house near Humber Bridge. Google it, and I'll come with you and Lynn's. Maria said. Haunted house near Humber Bridge. You nearly dropped your tea all over your boobs then.
Yes, I did.
She's there, and she had her teacup there resting on her boobs and went like that, and the cup went.
It could have almost been the Dark Booby radio show.
He hasn't got blue feet. Yes, Maria, if we can find it, that sounds like a good idea. Right, so yeah, Japanese myths, legends, ghosts, and strangeness.
Okay, well, going through some of the research, which I found quite interesting, I did find a couple that I did enjoy. And obviously,
going through all the research, which I really well found yesterday.
Going through all the research, which actually I only read this afternoon.
Was it this afternoon? You cheeky sod, I sent that 2 days ago.
I know. Well, like I said, I've been a busy man. Scripts to write, books to write.
Yawn. This is what matters.
Schools to ostracize. I'm going to have fun next week with schools, but never mind. That's another conversation.
Do you practice magic?
I'd love to.
then how on earth are you going to turn a school into an ostrich?
It's quite easy. I'm going to go up there with a big vat of tar and a big vat of feathers, and I'm going to coat it with tar and then chuck the feathers on it.
Do you know what? This is completely nothing to do with this. Is a long time ago. One of my daughters was being bullied in one of their schools. Badly bullied, and because she turned around and stood up for herself and literally picked the boy up and threw him over 2 desks because he kept coming. It was can't remember where he's from. He kept coming up behind her and pretending he was doing stuff to her. Yeah. And she kept saying to him loads of times, told teacher's like, no. And it all turned out because of the guy was from a different country, they were letting him get away with it. I went in there, and the headmaster is one of those that talks to you like one of the kids. Bad idea with me. And he was trying to say it was all Taylor's fault for dressing provocatively. And it's like she had trousers on. She had school trousers on, school uniform on. And then he kept just like talking. In the end, I literally turned around to him and said, sit down, shut up before I push your face through your fucking desk and listen. He sat down, shut up, and listened. But I find it stupid that schools who say there's no bullying, there's no this, there's no that, there's none of the other, and they're there to help. And I'm sorry, but nothing has changed since you and I were at school.
Yeah.
It's still that. bullying will always be there, and you'll always get the idiot teachers who go, no, we don't have any bullying. Yet if your kids turn around and stand up for themselves, they're the first ones to get done, and you're the first ones to get called in. And I'm sorry, I don't agree with that.
And I found something out today, regards to schools. I know we've gone off a subject here, but I found something out today, and it was always a thing when I was at school. That you know
you're not supposed to wear those netball shorts, don't you, mate?
Kids would turn around to you and say, the school isn't allowed to give you an after-school detention without giving you 24 hours notice.
That's right, they're supposed to, but they don't.
I found out that is not actually a legal requirement. Schools do not have to give any notice of an after-school detention. And that's on the government website.
Well, that's just plain wrong.
Yeah, it is wrong. It is wrong because, I mean, when I got told at 1:30 this afternoon that my son was staying behind at 2:45 for an after-school detention because he didn't do the homework that he couldn't physically do, I went off on one and I phoned the school and told them, no, he's coming home at 2:45, whether you like it or not. And I'm now going to be going in on Monday and I'm going to be reading them the Right Act.
Yeah,
they're going to be told they either sort their lives out or I'm pulling them out of school. I'll homeschool them if I have to.
It's schools, and it's never going to change. In 2 or 3 generations' time, you're going to have whoever takes over from us sitting there saying exactly the same bloody thing.
Yep.
Did you find that house that Maria was on about? You found that house? Okay. She says it looks okay, so we will see what we can do and see if we can get to see it. Anyway. So, Japanese, would you like to talk about kuchisake or no?
Yes, I'll talk about chukisake on the come on the market.
No, you dirty boy, you talk to me in that accent. Oh.
I'll continue in that accent if you like. If you ever find yourself alone on a quiet, foggy street in Japan, you should probably rewind for the nearest puppy-rated press.
God's sake.
Because you might just encounter kuchisake Onna. At first, you probably won't be too upset about running into this woman who seemed to just appear out of thin air right in front of you. She's gorgeous and demure, wearing a white surgical mask over her mouth because obviously she's concerned about pollution.
This may ring bells with you guys in the chat room now. Surgical mask and everything.
And obviously coronavirus went back donkey's years. She asks you,
"Am I a long time?"
Hello. Welcome to the Doug Miller Radio Show.
Oh my God.
Anyway, and so of course she's wearing this white surgical mask over her mouth, and she asks you, "Am I beautiful?" You say yes because she is. She takes off her mask and you find that her mouth has been slit from ear to ear. She asks you, "How about now?" Well, then you have 3 choices, and each choice has a result.
Listen carefully.
If you say, actually, let's put it to the listeners. You have the 3 choices: yes, no, or maybe. If you type in the chat, yes, no, or maybe, on whether, if she asks you if she's beautiful, what would you reply?
And we'll come back to that in a little bit. Yes, no, maybe.
Because I find it quite an interesting one, and it will be obviously depending on what people say, or depending on whether the end result is there or not. But it's quite spooky, to say the least, if you're walking down the street in Japan and something comes up. And I will move on quickly while people are looking it up. If I can find where it's gone, it's disappeared.
So you guys in chat room and you guys listening to us, choose either yes, no, or maybe.
It's the one I wanted next, which I found absolutely amazing.
Which one?
And it seems to have disappeared. Oh, there it is. Techie.
Techie.
Techie. And sadly enough, it starts with a tragedy.
Tragedy.
A girl was accidentally listening to the Bee Gees. She was pushed off a platform at a train station just as a train was coming in.
Yeah.
It then subsequently cut the girl in half, and obviously she died on impact. Well, sometime later, a boy was walking home from school alone, and he saw a girl through a window. She was leaning on the window, still with her elbows, looking outwards. When she saw the boy, she pushed herself through the open window, and there was nothing the boy could do except stand there horrified. He had just seen a girl fall from a window, and on any other day, that probably would have been his low point. It might have been the low point of his whole life if he got to live it. See, after the girl had hit the ground, the boy then realised something. She had no lower body. And as he was trying to process this, the girl pushes herself up with her hands, started crawling towards the boy. She was at his feet before he had time to run. He didn't even realise what she was carrying until the scythe was midway through his waist. As the two halves of his body fell to the ground, it was the sound that she made as she dragged herself towards him, tech, that he heard last. I think it's probably something to do with the dialect there. I think it probably sounds like something else.
Oh, ducky.
It was more like she'd be cutting off. All her intestines would be slopping along the road.
It would. I'm terribly sorry there's a cat's butthole on show here right now, but can you get out of the way, love? Yeah.
Well, I've got a sneaky suspicion that nobody in the chat room is actually going to reply to the first one.
No, I think they've all nodded off.
So, anyway, regards to the lady with the surgical mask asking if she was beautiful, your three choices were no, yes, or maybe. If you'd have said no, she would have sliced your mouth from ear to ear with a pair of scissors, giving you a beautiful smile just like hers.
Yeah.
If you then said yes, she allows you to leave, and you then think you've gotten off the hook. But when you arrive home, she appears again and kills you in your own doorway. Or if you say, oh, James is still here.
Hi,
if you say maybe, this confuses her, you run. She's so flummoxed that she doesn't chase you and you escape. So if you come across her, if you come across her, she's going
to be mightily pissed off that you just did that to her, but she's not going to know what to do. She's going, oh, I want this mess, and you can leg it.
Basically, if any Japanese woman walks up to you with a face mask on and she says, "Am I beautiful?" just say maybe and run for it.
She was on. I said to you, didn't I? She was on Supernatural. There was an episode with her, and she was on. It was Grimm, wasn't it? Yeah, she was on Grimm as well, and they stuck to the legend quite well in that. And it was some girl whose plastic surgery had gone wrong, and she actually died, but the surgeon had buggered up. So yeah, it was all to do with that, and it was quite good. But I think if a Japanese girl came up to me in the middle of a dark alley and said, "I'm not beautiful," I'd have to be like, and then push Wayne in front and say, "Deal with it, Wayne."
I think I wouldn't even put myself in that situation. I don't think I would be in a dark alley in Japan in the first place.
Well, yeah, to be honest, if you're down a dark alley in Japan, you're probably looking for a particular vending machine. But
yes,
yeah,
I don't particularly like that idea.
No. The girl from the Gap. And when we say the girl from the Gap, we don't mean that girl that sells you cheap clothes. Okay.
I didn't think Gap were that cheap, to be honest.
It depends if you go and buy boxer shorts or socks. Boxer shorts or socks, it's not too bad. If you want to buy a pair of jeans, and fuck that, I'm going onto eBay. The girl from the Gap. And all it says is, the small gap between your dresser and the wall, or between your bed and the floor. Don't look in there, because if you see a pair of eyes staring back at you, you're in trouble. Well, no shit, Sherlock. I think there was trouble. Or I'd be like, the cat's under the bed again. The first time you see the girl
down the kitchen. I think I'd be running down the kitchen to make a fry up. They must be really thin.
Sausages. The first time you see the girl looking at you from a small gap, she'll ask you if you want to play hide and seek. You don't really have a choice. Even if you say no, you're still locked into a game. which isn't particularly so much as a game as it is an exercise in never letting your eyes lock on a gap ever again. If you see her for a second time, she'll drag you down to hell.
Lovely. Could do with a
The
holiday.
Japanese have very strange urban legends and ghosts and things. Like when you go into their proper legends and stuff, and you look at some of the things they've got in there, it's just like, what's wrong with you? Seriously, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's I don't know. It's like, I suppose in a way, it's like the haunted forest near Mount Fuji, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, it's, you know, to be called the suicide forest is not necessarily the fact that people have gone there on purpose to commit suicide. It's the fact that they've gone there and got lost, and they've ended up dying of the you know, the elements of obviously caused the issue. And because of the was it Taoist, isn't it, in Japan?
Yeah, Taoist. To be honest, it's Taoist, Buddhist.
Yeah, I think Taoist is the predominant one, isn't it?
Yeah.
You know, their superstitions are rife, and of course they add that to what's been going on there, and as a result, it kicks off, and it becomes then that urban legend, like with the suicide forest. You know, it's just a normal forest, but it's because so many people have died there from getting lost in the woods and not being able to find their way out, that they've gone up. Vengeful spirits have got them. You know, it's you've gone into an area that they don't want you to go in, and so they've taken your soul away.
Well, have you seen that program about it? You've got a guy that has to open the cars up because they're left there with notes in them, and then you've got the other guys that go into the forest and find them, and then when they do eventually find them, they find them strung up and this, that, and the other, and they've left notes and tents and stuff, and you can. And they were saying that most of the people who go in there, have been there. They've camped there for at least a week, so that, you know, those poor buggers, whatever it is that drove them over the edge, they've been sat there for that whole time, mulling it over, and feel really sorry for them. And then people who's got to go and find them and cut them down and then gather up the tent and all the their belongings and stuff. And it's not good, you know.
Not a nice experience.
Well, the people who commit the most suicide in Japan are young bankers. Because
I'm not surprised.
Because it's such a high stress, long working hours, and everything is all about respecting this, that, and the other. Because it's such a high stress job, they just can't handle it. And, you know, unfortunately, I couldn't do that. But anyway, what else? What shall we find? That's another good one.
I like the Dream School.
Go on, then. You read about the Dream School.
Okay. One night, a boy had a dream about a school. It was a school he didn't recognize, and as he wandered the halls, he became increasingly unsettled. The hallway he walked down was a continuous loop, always bringing him back to where he started. He climbed stairs only to find himself back on the first floor. The school was a maze, and he couldn't figure it out. As he started to become scared, he heard the sound of footsteps behind him. The sound was faint and far away, but instinctively he ran. The footsteps got closer and closer. In the end, he found an emergency exit with a glass locked box that held a key right next to it, but the glass had already been smashed and the key was missing. In its place, there was a note that said the key was in room 108. The boy then ran off in search of the room. When he found it, he shut the door behind him. There were no students in there, but there were backpacks hanging off every chair. He searched them all frantically, turning out the drawers and teacher's desk, but it was no use. The footsteps had now caught up to him. Now someone was pounding on the door, and as the boy cowered, the pounding just stopped. The boy opens the door to the hallway, but quickly he wished he hadn't. The corridor was littered with children's corpses, their limbs scattered from end to end. He never woke up from his dream, and if you don't forget this story in 1 week, you'll have the same dream and be resigned to the same fate. It's very similar to
Sleep well, kiddies.
Yeah, it's very similar to the story about with the videotape, wasn't it? You watch this video, within 7 days you'll die.
Yeah, The Ring.
Is it? Yeah, The Ring.
The Ring.
And then you get the creepy girl come out after you. I can't stand the films myself because obviously that spawned an issue with loads of people pasting the girl on their staircase and then going, oh look, I caught a ghost on my stairs, look. And you're like, yeah, whatever, you've just watched The Ring. You know, if you're going to put a ghost in a picture, at least put a ghost that no one recognizes.
I've just read about a particularly strange one. I think you'll probably agree. Himuro Mansion.
Oh yes, near Tokyo. Well, just outside Tokyo.
A little odd. So, all you cats and kittens, I'll read it out to you. What was it again? Himuro Mansion. Right. If you believe this legend, there's a secluded, abandoned mansion just outside of Tokyo where a series of brutal slayings were carried out. The family who lived there would carry out a sick practice called the strangling ritual. Fans of Michael Hutchence might have heard of that. They believed there was a portal on their property that brought them bad karma for winning the earth. So in order to seal the portal, they would choose a local village girl at birth, raise her in isolation, and then tie her wrists and ankles and necks. Oh, Jesus. Wrist, ankles, and neck to 5 oxen, which would rip her limbs and her head off her body. They would then take the rope, soak it in her blood, and lay it at the entrance of the portal. This protected them for 50 years. But something went wrong during the last ritual. The woman who was supposed to be raised in isolation had formed a bond with a man who tried to rescue her. Because of this, the ritual didn't work, and the patriarchs, or the fathers, slayed his entire family before falling on his own sword. That was accidental. Now the mansion is said to be haunted by his family, and rumor has it that the walls were splattered with blood, fresh blood, and the blood of the unfortunate people who go looking for the mansion, looking for a thrill, not knowing that the ghosts of the family are waiting for the next victim of the strangling ritual. How can you call that strangling ritual when it's just ripping you to bits?
Yeah, that's a disembowelment ritual, isn't it?
It's what used to be a capital punishment, wasn't it? When they ripped you quartered. I said quartered.
Yeah, hung, drawn, and quartered. That's not strangling, is it?
It's still messed up, though, isn't it? That's fucked up. So far, we've discovered that a lot of Japanese legends are fucked up. They are.
Well, they're pretty gruesome, but then they're no different to a lot of these horror films that you see in America. You know, a lot of the American horror films, some of the really sort of extreme ones are really gruesome.
There are some nasty ones out there. I'm not a particular fan of horror, but there's some films out there that even I just will refuse to watch. The Green Holocaust. Yeah, no, nasty stuff. Do you want to do one more urban legend and then we'll go on to their proper legends?
Right. Well, I like the Purple Mirror,
which we are the Dark Mirror. So let's read about the Purple Mirror.
If you're over the age of 20, then you're lucky. It's good news. You won't be affected by this story at all. But for all the teenagers out there, think carefully about listening further. A young girl was given a mirror by her mother. The girl loved the mirror and spent much of her time staring at herself in it. The girl was desperate to be beautiful, and she developed an eating disorder trying to maintain her beautiful body and her beauty. Every time she looked into the mirror, she looked gorgeous. After a few years, the girl wanted to redecorate, so she painted the mirror purple. After it was painted, she looked into it and was shocked by her appearance. She was dangerously thin, and her hair was limp and stringy. The eating disorder had taken a toll on her appearance, and now the girl could see that she was not maintaining her beauty. She was sabotaging it. Despondent, the girl threw the mirror on the ground and broke it. shattered it, to be honest. She was making the final arrangements for her coming-of-age party on her 20th birthday when she was in a car accident. She perished at the scene, whispering, "Purple mirror, purple mirror." Her parents searched for the mirror, but they never found it. It is said that if you do not forget the phrase "purple mirror" by your 20th birthday, you too will have a similar fate as this girl in the story. So just remember, forget the words "purple mirror." Or don't have a purple mirror in the first place.
Could it be that she was actually a fan of Prince and his works? And she wasn't saying purple mirror, like, Purple Rain.
Yeah. Could have been the last song she was listening to.
Could have been.
So, I mean, although it's a weird story and quite a strange sort of like occurrence, I can't see how that could become an urban legend, to be honest, because it's too mashed up. That to me just sounds like a normal ghost story rather than an urban legend or a myth. That is, it's that's definitely just something that's happened, and it's just coincidental that she died saying "purple mirror."
Well, it's like the one about Inunaki Village. Inunaki, aliens. Apparently, there's this village in Japan in the foothills called Inunaki. There's a gate in front with a sign warning outsiders that the laws of Japan don't apply to their settlements. And inside, apparently, there's cannibalism, slaying, robbery, buggery. I don't know. Dogs and cats wearing tutus. The world's gone mad. Don't know. But if you ever go for a wander in Japan and you see a place called Inunaki, I suggest you turn around and walk off. Don't go there, because once you go in there, you can't leave. That's it. You're screwed. Terrible stuff.
I mean, yeah, but you do that. There's places like that in China as well, isn't there? There's villages in the countryside that you just don't go to, because of the fact that they are a law unto themselves, and the authorities don't go out that far. They won't travel out from the big cities to these secluded little towns and villages, so they just leave them to get on with it.
But they have their own governing, don't they? Self-governing.
Yeah. Which is weird, considering when you look at China as a country, and you think to yourselves, right, well, they're communist as such, that they would allow a town or a village in the middle of nowhere to self-govern.
Well, strange. Well, I mean, look at places down in Somerset. When you go to little villages out there, I swear some of the sheep look like the next door neighbours, but that's beside the point. So let's move on to Japanese demons and ghosts and proper legends. The Oni, demons, and Yurei, ghosts. So let's find a picture. What about the Snow Woman? Yuki Onna.
Hang on, let me get to her. Because I'm only just going past Happy Yuku Bakuni.
Well, if you want to stop and read one of them, one of those. Oh yeah, happy yako hako bakpikunino. Sorry.
Okay, and this is a folk tale. So slightly different to the normal average ghost story. It teaches the very important lesson of not eating mermaids.
No, don't. No, just so many jokes. Which end do you start? Just no.
Bite your tongue. Bite your tongue. Because this relates to a little mini documentary live feed I did about mermaids actually being part of fairies.
Well, yeah, they come with the fae culture, don't they?
And I will add this, anything that's humanoid and magical are fairies. Fairies is the main part, and all the things like elves, goblins.
By the way, you went, fairies is the main part.
Fairies. Everything that's underneath that, and I'm not homophobic, guys, just to let you know. Everything that comes under that fairies is the things like elves, goblins, dwarfs, etc. So mermaids come into that category. There once was a fisherman who caught a mermaid while out at sea. He took it home, cooked it, and invited many of his friends over to partake in the meal. But he didn't tell them what he was cooking. and one of the guests slipped into the kitchen and saw the fish he was butchering had a woman's face. He warned the other guests not to eat it, and they all slyly slipped their servings of fish into their pockets as they ate. One man forgot to empty his pockets and throw away the fish, and when he returned home, his daughter asked for a treat. He had had too much sake, and without thinking, gave her the fish. Everything was fine until years later. She realized she was no longer aging. The woman married several times, outliving all her husbands as they grew old, and she did not. Eventually, the woman realized she could do plenty of good with all the extra time she had on earth, and she became a Buddhist nun. She dedicated her life to the cause, eventually rising through the ranks of the religion and giving this story its translated title, The 800-Year Buddhist Priestess.
So if you eat a mermaid, you become immortal?
I think that's the message.
I mean, personally, I wouldn't catch a mermaid. I could never. People who catch mermaids and kill them and eat them, no. Wrong. If you're going to eat a mermaid, that just brings in a whole new kettle of fish and a whole load of new jokes. But we're not going to do that. Not now. We're not going to talk about eating mermaids. It would be fishy, but that's beside the point.
Would there be a new interest in eating breast then?
That interest has never died.
Because when I eat chicken, I have nothing but breast. So if I was going to eat a mermaid, I'd probably do the same thing.
I've got one for you. If you're going to eat a mermaid and you're eating down there, does that mean you're eating a cat? Does that mean you're eating a catfish?
Oh God, the parson's nose.
I clearly walked in the room at the wrong time. See you later.
Can I have the mermaid's
handlebar moustache like that? When you're tongue punching her ham wallet and she lets rip and snort her.
I'll have the mermaid's parson's nose, please.
I'm terribly sorry, viewers. We have descended into madness.
Yeah. Okay.
So, yes, if you're eating that particular bit, would that be classed as eating a catfish? Anyway, moving on. Oh, dear. Right.
Oni and Yuri.
Oh. Huh?
Oni and Yuri.
Right, yes. Do I talk about Yuki Onna or Kiyohima?
Kiyohima.
Okay. This is proper Japanese legend, not urban legend, which we were talking about before with urban legends. So, fishy tales indeed, young man. This could get a lot worse. Kiyohima was a young woman who was scorned by her lover, a monk named Anshin. Those monks, they got a habit of putting it about. Anyway, he grew cold of her and lost interest in her. Realizing he had left her, Kiyohima followed him to a river and transformed into a serpent while swimming after his boat. Terrified by her monstrous form, the monk Anshin sought refuge in a temple where monks hid him beneath a bell, so it was a bit of a bell end. Not to be evaded, Kiyohima found him by his scent, coiled around his bell, and banged loudly on it with her tail. She then breathed fire onto the bell, melting it and killing Anshin.
Not very nice.
That's not very nice at all.
No.
For whom the bell tolls.
Indeed.
Yes.
Bit of a strange one.
Huh?
Bit of a strange one, though, isn't it? Really.
Well, it is Japanese legends.
To turn into a serpent while it's swimming after his boat.
Well, he severely pissed her off.
True.
I never knew monks were like that.
There
we are.
No, I don't think they were.
Do you want to talk about the Snow Woman?
I can do. I'll say talk about. I will give you the brief couple of sentences about her.
There's not a lot on her, is there?
Yuki Onna, or the Snow Woman, as she's known. There are varying, many different variations of this popular tale. It's that popular. We ain't got much writing about it.
Yeah.
Yuki Onna is usually described as having white skin, a white kimono, and long black hair. Sounds very much like the ghost from The Ring.
It does, but I love the way the description of this in here. I think it's quite cool.
She appears in snowfall and glides without feet over the snow like a ghost. She feeds on human essence, and her killing method of choice is to blow on her victims to freeze them to death and then suck out their souls through their mouths.
She blows them to death and then sucks. No. Snowballs. She's a vampire. She's a life force vampire, isn't she?
Yeah, psychic vampire.
I'm
gonna lick your life force from your body.
And I'm gonna blow on you, freeze you, and then I'm gonna suck your soul out. I can think of better ways to go.
Do you reckon she was a geisha girl?
Well, looking at the picture, I don't know if you can see the pictures. Hang on. Show that on there.
Hello.
Yeah, that's Yuki Onna. See? She looks like a very peed off geisha girl. But the all white kimono, white face, dark hair, sounds like a kimono.
No, actually, no, she couldn't be a geisha girl. She looks like she's had her face slapped by a wet fish. Maybe it was the mermaid.
I was just about to say, maybe it was a mermaid. Oh, go on then. Why don't you read about Shooting Dodgy?
Shooting Dodgy? Yeah, like this story ain't that dodgy. I think it's Shuten Doji.
Shuten Doji.
Shuten Doji. I can't speak Japanese, but I can only assume that's what it says. He's described as more than 50 feet tall, with a red body, 5 horns, and 15 eyes. Do you know what? This is reminding me so much of what's it called? Attack on Titans.
Oh, with the
Japanese manga series.
Yeah.
There's no need to fear. There's no need to fear this demon. In a legend from the medieval period, warriors Reiko and Hoshou infiltrated the Shuten Doji's lair disguised as Yamabushi, or mountain priests, to free some kidnapped women. The Oni greeted them with a banquet of human flesh and blood, and the disguised warriors offered Shuten Doji drugged sake. After the demon passed out, the warriors cut off his head, killed the other Oni, and freed the prisoners.
Somewhere I've got the full version of that story, and I will look it out for next week because it's actually an interesting story. Oni are demons. So there you go. The way to kill a Japanese demon: give it sake with a little bit of rohypnol in it. You know.
Yeah.
Rohypnol sake, and then off with the head.
Nice.
There's another one here who, quite frankly, could be somebody's mother-in-law.
Not the
Yamalba.
Not the woman.
No, the mountain ogress Yamalba. This also originated in the medieval period. Yamalba are generally considered to be old women who were marginalized by society and forced to live in the mountains, but they also have a penchant for eating human flesh. Among many tales, there is one of a Yalba who offers shelter to a young woman who's about to give birth while secretly planning to eat her baby. And another of a Yalba who goes to village homes to eat children while their mothers are away. But they're not picky, they'll eat anyone who passes by. Yamalbas also have mouths under their hair.
It's a bit greedy. Do they have the mouth at the front as well? So they have two mouths.
Well, looking at the picture, they got a mouth at the front, but underneath their hair as well. So who is the one?
They're bringing new definitions for eating for two.
You would be, wouldn't you?
That's just plain greedy.
Personally, I think that was, you know, when you get like the old village witch and stuff, and then people go, "Oh no," and they chuck them out the village and stuff, as they did in European type medieval times. I reckon it's the same thing. They were just forced to live in woods and stuff, and this legend was built up about them. I can't see them going around eating human flesh, but
no,
you know, stranger things out there.
And I think that's probably the case of over time the story's changed.
Yeah. Unfortunately, mankind likes to bastardize simple things and turn them into something they're not.
Yeah. A method of control, isn't it?
Yeah, and it's, as James just said, can't shut that woman up, 2 mouths.
Well, that's where a bit of duct tape comes in handy. You put it right round the head so it covers both mouths up at the same time.
This is very true.
Yeah.
Good thing, duct tape. Eh?
It's a good thing, duct tape. It even gets rid of warts.
Because it rips the bastards off.
No, apparently if you cover a wart with duct tape for 24 hours, the wart can't breathe and it drops out.
Have you been testing it on your bollocks again?
No, apparently, well, Ethan's got a wart on his thumb. So we've been trying it with him, but we keep forgetting to administer it.
I was going to say, try it and see if it works.
He's a bit scared of doing the other method of vinegar. So,
well, no, Alfie gets some on his fingers, doesn't he? And what's it you put on them? Is it bazooka?
Bazooka, yeah.
Yeah.
We were going to use that, but we'd run out.
Oh, okay. Right. What shall we do next? You pick.
Well, we've got Uji no Hashihime.
Yeah.
You know what? I should study Japanese because I'm getting pretty good at these names.
Hang on. You know what that's from?
He hasn't picked up a frog in ages, or a toad.
Have you had any French people around?
No.
No.
No, I've never ever. There's only one person. There's only one French person in this entire planet I'd ever invite into my house, and that ain't ever going to happen. So I'm all right with that. Anyway.
Don't mention the war in the French twin. Just don't mention the war.
All the Spanish, all the Germans. Right, okay. Uji no Hashihime. So, in another tale of a woman scorned, Uji no Hashihime prayed to a deity to turn her into an Oni so she could kill her husband.
An Oni's a demon. Oh, God. It started.
God.
It started. What have you done, Wayne?
Anyway, so yeah, she'd actually prayed to this deity to turn her into an Oni so that she could kill her husband, the woman he fell in love with, and all their relatives. To accomplish this, she bathed in the Uji River for 21 days, divided her hair into 5 horns, painted her body red with vermilion, and went on a legendary killing spree. Besides her intended victims, anyone who saw her instantly died of fear.
Shit.
I don't think that was a case of the deity turned her into the Oni. I just personally think she went nuts. She covered herself in red clay, turned her hair into horns with the clay, and then just went on a killing spree and just killed anybody who got in her way.
Yeah, it sounds like she flipped the fuck out.
She just lost the plot.
Yeah.
You got the Tenju there.
I'm just looking to see, because what time is it? We'll do a couple more. Tenju. All right, Tenju. Tenju are impish mountain goblins that play tricks on people. Featured in countless folktales and considered purely evil until about the 14th century. So whatever happened in the 14th century to change people's minds, I don't know. They were originally depicted as bird-like with wings and beaks. Wings and beaks. Although now the beak is often replaced with a comically large nose. They are known to lead people away from Buddhism, tie priests to tall trees and towers, start fires in temples, and kidnap children. Many legends say the Tengu were hypocritical priests who must now live the rest of their lives as mountain goblins as punishment. Locals made offerings to the Tengu to avoid their mischief, and there are still festivals in Japan dedicated to them today. And the Japanese also have the Festival of the Penis each year as well.
Lovely.
Mm. So there you go. These priests and monks seem to get up to all sorts of things over there.
A bit of dark, sordid secrets going on here, isn't there?
I think there was a bit of naughty goings on all over there. Hello, can I help you? Thank you. What's this one? How does Oiwa?
Oiwa.
Oiwa.
I like the sound of that one actually. That one again is a nice revenge story.
The Oiwa.
Yeah, the Oiwa. Right. A revenge story made popular by the famous kabuki drama Yotsuya Kaidan. Have
you ever seen kabuki?
No. That kabuki, that's the shadow theater, isn't it?
No, it's where they wear the masks and they're on stage and they go Oyo! And they do all that dong 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 dong, and they wear all different masks and go Oyo! And stuff like that.
Okay. Anyway, Oiwa was married to a Ronin, master-class samurai, named Iyemon. He went to marry a rich local's daughter who had fallen in love with him, and in order to end their marriage, Oiwa was sent a poisoned medicine. Though the poison failed to kill her, she became horribly disfigured, causing her hair to fall out and her left eye to droop. Upon learning of her disfigurement and betrayal, she accidentally killed herself on a sword. Her ghostly, deformed face appeared everywhere to haunt Iyemon. It even appeared in place of his new bride's face, which caused Iyemon to accidentally behead her. Oiwa's spirit followed him relentlessly to the point where he welcomed death.
That sounds like cyanide. I think it's cyanide because it's a heavy metal, and it causes faces. If you don't kill it can melt. Like your bones and everything. So what's one side will droop and this, that, and the other. A lot of the Nazi officers had the cyanide capsules that they were supposed to take, and some of them would crunch down on it, and it didn't work after time, and it literally melted their bones and disfigured them and stuff. That sounds very, very much like that. That was some form of cyanide with the hair dropping out and the face drooping.
Yeah.
Either way, I'm not surprised you're pissed off.
No, it's nothing like a woman scorned.
Yeah, and the Japanese seem to, he's got it. James has just said the no masks. Amazing at how fast they change. That was at Kabuki Theatre. They lit, really good. Revenge spirits. I love justice in this world or the next. Yes. What shall we finish with? The Demon at Aggie Bridge. Shall we? Shall we, everybody? Shall we? Yes. Okay. This story begins, as so many horror stories do, with an overly confident man who boasted to his friends that he did not fear to cross Aggie Bridge, or the demon rumoured to reside there, as Oni demons are known for their ability to shapeshift. The demon at Aggie Bridge appeared to the man as an abandoned woman. As soon as she caught the young man's eye, she transformed back into a 9-foot-tall, green-skinned monster and chased after him. But unable to catch the man, the demon later changed into the form of the man's brother and knocked at his door late one night. The demon was let into the house and, after a struggle, bit off the man's head, held it up and danced with it before his family, and then vanished. Fuck you. Boink.
Nice of her.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, because he said he wasn't scared of crossing the bridge.
Yeah. What was that tale that used to be about when we were kids?
It was the Billy Goat's Gruff, wasn't it?
Yeah. Trip trap, you can't cross my bridge. Who's that crossing my bridge? And this, that, and the other. Well, it definitely wasn't that bloke crossing the bridge anymore, was it? He had his fucking head bit off.
He won't be crossing no more bridges.
No, he bloody won't. Oh, hang on, here's the last one for you. Do you want to read it then? Red Cloak, Aka Manto. That's a nice one to finish on.
Oh, the Aka Manto.
Aka Manto.
With a demon for just about everything, why shouldn't the Japanese have a few of their bathrooms?
They have shitloads of demons for their bathrooms.
Yeah, we have actually bypassed a couple that were up on this previously. So
Well, we did mention a couple last week.
yes, the Akamanto, one of the more popular demons, hides in the women's bathrooms. In one version of the story, Akamanto asks women if they would like a red cloak or a blue cloak. If the woman answers red, Akamanto tears the flesh from her back to make it appear she is wearing a red cloak. If she answers blue, then he strangles her to death. Unfortunately, if you encounter Akamanto, there may be no escaping. Some versions of the story say if you don't answer or if you pick a different colour, he will immediately drag you to hell.
So, bit of a bastard then.
Seems a bit familiar to me, red pill or blue pill.
Are we in the Matrix? Does a little bit. Well, there you have it. Japan is full of revenge, and women are demons, apparently. Monks are horny and randy. That seems to be medieval Japan in a nutshell, really.
Japan seems to be a very vengeful nation, don't they?
Well, they used to be when it was all full of pride and the shoguns, and you had to do this and you had to do that.
Well, I mean, it was the samurai, weren't they? They were like a very proud sort of organisational group, wasn't it? So,
well, yeah. If the samurai died, that's when they became Ronin, and then ninjutsu started as a way of hiring out samurai mercenaries.
yes.
But yes, that was, to be honest, when I was doing the research this week, that was some of the more palatable stories that I thought we could talk about. There's quite a few on there that when you read them, you were just like, no.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, without getting too grotesque, there are quite a lot of very gruesome tales out there. And I think, to be honest, most societies have gruesome stories. You go into Norse mythology, you look into Norse mythology itself and actually look at some of the stories that are in there. They're not the sort of stories you tell kids.
No. Well, look at the Blood Eagle. Disgusting.
Yeah.
Actually, if you play Assassin's Creed Valhalla, one of the storylines you go down, you see the Blood Eagle. And it's quite... Ooh.
I'm still trying to get over Star Wars Squadrons in VR.
I haven't played that yet. Is that any good?
I played it for an hour and it almost made me sick.
Did you have the headset on?
I'm sorry, I know we're live, but I was playing it on VR. I bought it for my son for his birthday, and he was reluctant at using the VR. So I thought I'd give it a go on the VR. And I'm sitting there, and the very first level, you're in a TIE fighter.
Yeah.
And you sit inside the TIE fighter. You have to start up and get all the starting sequence done and get your radar going and you get your guns charged and everything. And you have to follow your captain out of the hangar. And I'm sitting there, I'm waiting for the order to leave. And I thought, God, this ain't too bad. I'm looking up and I'm looking to my side. And everywhere I looked was the inside of a TIE fighter.
Yeah.
So I thought, right. And I looked behind me. I turned around and looked, and there was the seat behind me.
Yeah, the new TIE fighters, you got a rig gun up.
And I'm like, oh my God, I can actually see the seat behind me.
Yeah.
Thought, right, okay, so I did the first mission. Second mission, I was in an X-Wing. And this totally blew my mind and then threw me for six. And that was what made me ill.
All the stars and everything, can't you?
I'm sitting there. We're in space. We've got planets in front of us. And we're looking for these Star Destroyers. And we launch off and the canopies come down. We've launched off and we're into space. And as we're cruising along, I looked out to me left and you could to me right, and you could see the wing with the blaster on the end.
Yeah.
Looked out to the left window, wing. There's your cannon on the end. Then all of a sudden,
behind you,
the leader goes attack formation. So I looked out the left and I saw the wings go like that, and I'm like, oh my God, this is so cool. Then I thought I'll test the VR and see whether I can actually look underneath the X-Wing. So I leant over right to the edge of where the canopy window was, and I looked down, and I could see underneath me. I could see below the X-Wing, and I'm like, nah, that is mental. PlayStation 4.
We have got PlayStation. Yeah.
It was unbelievable. I just couldn't believe it. And after a while of doing that second mission, I'm flying around all over the place. I'm flipping upside down. My head is telling me I should be upside down, but my body's going, you're still sitting the right way up. Next minute, and I'm like, no, I'm going to have to stop this. I'm feeling a bit
fire up.
I'm like, I'm coming off of this now.
Because I've been looking at getting that for myself. Yeah, that's right. TIE Fighter twin ion engines.
I got it from Tesco's, 15 quid. But obviously, you have to have the VR set to go with it.
That's not bad. I've got something to show you before you disappear. Hang on, because you know I'm a Star Wars nut. I'll show you something. It's quite rare, this one.
You
see that? Oh, hang on.
It's the bomber, isn't it?
That's right, the TIE bomber. And you only see this when they're bombing that asteroid and the big snake comes out.
Yeah, in the New Hope.
Yeah.
I wanted to get one of those when they first came out, and my mum got me the Millennium Falcon instead.
Well, if you look, hang on, if you look. There's Darth Vader's TIE Fighter in the middle, normal TIE Fighter, there's a TIE Bomber, and then there's loads of it in there. And then I have loads of the spaceships and stuff, but all packed away.
I had shed loads of Star Wars stuff at some point, and I think they all ended up in Mum's loft. But my mum's loft has been absolutely filled up with all sorts of junk. So over the next couple of months, I dare say I'm going to find them again.
Let me know I'm coming down.
I'm like, oh my God.
Well, you've seen the tattoos I've got. I love me Star Wars, you know.
Well, Ethan loves your leg.
Oh, hang on.
R2D2. He loves that.
Yeah, hang on. There you go. That's my leg. You've seen it first on the Dark Mirror Radio Show.
It's the talking leg.
It normally, if you get it wet, it farts. Anyway. It does. If you get it wet, because I go swimming with my leg on and stuff, and when the walk from the pool to the changing room, you go. And everybody just goes, "Oh."
Everybody's looking around, going, "Oh, who was that?"
Sounds like my ex walking down the road, you know. On that note, becoming full cyborg bit by bit. What was I going to say? Right. We are back on Sunday with the rearview mirror, and this time I hope it won't be a big cock up because Taylor's home now. She's upstairs, gone to bed with Finley, but Taylor's home now.
And with any luck, next week you'll have the theme tune sorted.
Yes, I may have to change the thing because I have no bloody idea how you can get the theme tune onto this.
Right. Yeah. Sam, the director at Truth Beyond Paranormal, she's paid for StreamYard, so she's able to actually put the 30-second countdown in. Which actually allows her to play whatever music she wants to put on there. So
do you play it through the laptop or?
I think she's used the Truth Beyond Paranormal logo, but she's used the music of their choice, you know, the collection that they've got, rather than a specific theme tune. The only other way you could do it, I suppose, would maybe doing it through the Facebook Live rather than StreamYard. Because obviously this links direct to Facebook anyway.
That's right.
So maybe you'd be able to do it through Facebook and do the live through Facebook and actually play the thing beforehand.
I will have to have a tester over the weekend and see what we can do. Yeah. Anyway, thank you all for watching, and thank you for watching over on YouTube. We, as I say, we'll be back on Sunday with the Rearview Mirror with myself and Taylor. This young man, what are your shows that are coming up next week?
Blimey. Yeah.
Yeah.
We're hoping that the latest episode of Truth Beyond Paranormal will be up and running by then. And I am supposed to be doing I'm doing a late night radio broadcast with I think it's called Past PSS, I think it's called. I've been invited onto the American radio show to discuss Wayne Seaton Presents Spook and Ori. That's Wednesday at 11 p.m. As soon as I've got the link to it, I will post it up on my timeline anyway. So if anybody's up and they want to listen, they'll be more than welcome to. I'd already done my monthly show with Northwest Radio about the paranormal. We did 2.5 hours on Wednesday, which was quite interesting. And that's it at the moment for the time being. There isn't anything else on at the moment.
One thing I was going to say is in the summertime, we're going to I think we'll start getting a few guests on with us as well. I've got so many people who want to come on, and thank you, James, much appreciated, mate, who want to come on and just chat the chat the crap that we do, and just come on to the marvel that is the Dark Mirror radio show. So I think we'll start having some guests on, and I think James, we should have you on at some point because you know your onions. So if you want to come on and have a bit of banter with us, you're more than welcome to. So on that note, what do you mean, God help us? On that note, in that case, I will see you all on Sunday. And remember, actually, I don't bloody know what time we're on Sunday. Take this. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. 9 o'clock. From now on, the Rearview Mirror shows at 9 o'clock. Bugger anything else. 9 o'clock. And are we going to stay at 9:30 or 9?
We'll stay at 9:30 would be easier.
All right. So from now on, the Dark Mirror show is 9:30 every Friday. And the Rearview Mirror show is at 9 o'clock every Sunday. Okay, and this is both in the evenings, so don't set your alarms for the mornings because we won't be there. Right. So it is good night from me. It is good night from him. It is good night from. I did it! Yeah. Right, we will see you all anon. Thank you for listening, guys, and much appreciated. Bye.
Bye.